Hello friends, welcome back to my channel for video 2 in the Back to School for Your Diet Weight Loss series. If you haven't already seen the first introduction video to my little series I've got going here, I will have it posted right up there for you so you can go check that out before you get into today's lesson. And today we are talking all about tracking. What do I mean by tracking? Well, primarily the talk that we're going to have today is about writing down the food that you eat every single day. Did you know that people who write down the food that they eat are likely to eat 30% fewer calories in a day than people that don't write their food down? There's something that happens mentally when you see what you're eating, even if you're not writing down a single calorie or point value or anything like that. Just the act of writing down, this is what I'm putting into my mouth right now. People see that and automatically start to eat a little bit less. This proves that tracking your food actually really does do something, and that's even before you start measuring and weighing and giving your food a value. Tracking is important in almost any diet that you are following, except maybe intuitive eating, because that totally defeats the purpose of intuitive eating. But my guess is if you are doing intuitive eating, your goal is not to be losing weight, or at least not your primary goal, which more power to you, but this episode is obviously not for you then. But for every other diet, odds are you are tracking something, whether it's macros, whether it's fat versus carbs, whether it's calories or smart points or points plus or freestyle points, whatever it is you're tracking, you're obviously following something. So today, let's talk about the importance of tracking and how you go about doing that. Guys, tracking is really, really simple, but it is also the simplest thing to get lazy about, isn't it? Am I right? I am so guilty of this. There's the guesstimating, and there's the, oh, maybe this bite or this taste doesn't count, and oh, I'm just not going to track the rest of the day. It's so easy to stop keeping track of your food. So the lesson for today is stop getting lazy about it. Track all of your food. I could end the video here and say peace out, I'll see you later, but we're gonna get into a little bit more detail than that. It is super important, like I said with your school supplies, to have the place that you are going to track all of your food. Whether it be an actual paper notebook with a cool pen that you purchased, or a piece of random paper, or one of the many apps that are available on your smartphones nowadays. The point is have a place, whatever place, easily accessible, that you can write down all of your food. The method of tracking is completely up to you. I know a lot of people will plan ahead and the night before will plan their entire day and pre-track some things. I know I will pre-track desserts or special things I know are going to happen, but not necessarily plan out my whole day. And then there are other people that just kind of track as they go. What did they have for breakfast? Let's track that and see how many points we have left to work with. Disclaimer, I'm probably going to speak in the word points because that is what I am following, but when I say points, I mean calories, macros, whatever it is you're tracking, that's my points. So that's what I mean for all of you. It's applicable even if you're not following a points program. So what's the lesson for today? Well, let's remember that we need to write down everything. First, pro tip, watch your beverages. There are very few beverages that count for 0. Coffee even has a couple of calories. Now, I'll be honest, if I'm tracking calories, I don't count coffee. I don't count plain black coffee. The second you add something to that coffee though, be it creamer or bulletproof XCT oil, whatever it is, it counts. Black coffee, plain tea, and water are pretty much the only things you can track as 0. But make sure you are aware of the other things around you that you are drinking. Protein shakes count. Kombucha, unless you're like me and you're a Weight Watchers rebel, counts for something. Kombucha is 25 calories, or at least the kombucha I drink, 25 calories for an 8 ounces, which means it's 50 calories per bottle, at least. That's the low end of the kombucha. Adding creamer to your coffee counts. Adding milk to your tea counts. Just be aware that your beverages count. Oh, and then diet sodas, I guess, don't count either, but those completely escape my mind because I don't drink soda. I never have, I never will. So sodas, regular sodas count for something, I guess. Diet sodas count for nothing, but personal opinion, stop drinking diet soda. Just stop. it's not good for you. So pro tip number 1, make sure you're counting your beverages and you are aware of your beverages. I know people that stop drinking soda exclusively and can drop 10 pounds because they were getting so many extra calories from just that beverage alone. Also, be aware of alcoholic beverages because those will pile up real fast. And then the other thing you need to be aware of are those little bites, licks, and tastes, or BLTs as we call them in the Weight Watchers community, that you're not thinking about but will accumulate really, really fast. If you are eating a couple of things off of your toddler's plate as you're cleaning off their high chair, or you're like, oh, trying this little bite of this cookie or this meal or this thing as you're cooking or baking or something, those bites, licks, and tastes do in fact add up. As a general rule, if I'm completely unsure, I will track each bite or lick or taste as a point or 2 depending on what I'm eating if I'm being really, really good. Now, another disclaimer, I am not perfect at this. I am genuinely doing this series to help re-encourage, re-inspire, and re-motivate myself just as much as I'm trying to do it for you. I am not a perfect Weight Watcher in any sense of the word. Do as I say, not as I do. So track your BLTs, track your beverages. Another thing you should know is it's okay to start small, especially if you are here and attempting a diet for the first time. I know that tracking can be incredibly overwhelming, incredibly. Trying to find the points values of everything or the calories or the macro breakdown, it's a lot of work. So it is okay to start small. If you are new to tracking and you just want to start getting a grip on the concept, what I recommend is this. Don't worry about the calories or the points just yet. Just write down what you're eating. That's it. If you have eggs, bacon, and a bowl of fruit for breakfast, write down, I had 2 eggs, 3 strips of bacon, and a bowl of fruit. And then lunch was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and dinner was eggplant parmesan. That's all you gotta do. Write down exactly what you eat. No measurements, no calories. It doesn't matter. Just get started getting into the habit of tracking. And then after a week or 2 of that, maybe you go, okay, now it's time to start actually figuring out the portion sizes and the points values of everything, or the caloric value of everything, or just how many macros I am eating in carbohydrates when I should be eating in protein. Let yourself ease into it to try and keep the overwhelm from happening, because when you feel overwhelmed, that's when it's going to get really difficult and you're going to want to give up. And that is the thing we are trying to avoid here at all costs. Do not give up. Do whatever it takes to make sure you are able to get to your goal. So take baby steps if you have to. Now, there are other people that like to dive right in, and I'm one of those people. More power to you. Go gung-ho. Find out the points values of everything. Track every little bit, and you will be amazed at how quickly the plan starts working for you. You've heard the phrase, if you work the plan works. This is true. If you actually have your little points budget or your caloric budget and you eat and track within that budget, you will lose weight. Maybe not every single week, but if you start here and you are tracking everything you eat the way you're supposed to be and staying within your numbers, you will get here. Whatever this number is, you will do it if you're tracking properly. That is the concept of tracking. So ultimately, this entire lesson is track your food. Track accurately, track honestly. If you go overboard, it's nothing to be ashamed of. We all do it. Trust me, trust me. I'm coming off of a week of really not tracking, and when I stepped on the scale yesterday, the number I saw was terrifying to me. Get back on track. It's okay. But track everything honestly so you can see what you're doing and you can see what your downfalls are. So that's the basic lesson in regular tracking your food tracking. But I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't talk about other types of tracking that should happen during your health and fitness and weight loss journeys. When you hear tracking, you obviously always think of food, but it's also important to track your progress. So what you need to do, in addition to tracking your food, is track your measurements. Obviously, you're going to track your weight, but you also need to track the changes that happen in your body. You can do this in a journal, you can do this in a little notebook that just has measurements written down, but your homework assignment for this week, are you ready? Because it just goes right into this. Homework assignment for tracking. Thing number 1, take before photos. For real, because that is going to be the easiest way for you to see progress and to track your progress. When you look down the road 5, 6 months, a year from now, and you see that before photo and what you look like now, you're going to be in awe of yourself. And it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be encouraging and motivating and inspiring, and exactly what you need to continue going on this journey. So take before photos. Along with those before photos, take your measurements, and then every month, continue to take those measurements, because even when the scale slows down or isn't changing at the pace you would like it to, you will find that your body might be. So track your measurements, take your before photos. 2 very important homework assignments. Homework assignment number 3 is, if you haven't done this already, get on the scale and figure out what your starting weight is, because then you can track your weight from there. Your biggest homework assignment for tracking is this. Make a commitment to yourself to track what you eat, every bite, every lick, every taste, every sip, every swallow, for 1 week. 1 week. And then see where you're at. See how you feel. You can do anything for 1 week. You can do this for a week, I promise you. And then when you finish that week, that one homework assignment, and you give yourself the A+ stamp for effort, do it again. And do it again. And that is literally how simple it is. Weight loss is not easy, but it is very, very simple. Track your food, stay within your budget, you will see the progress you want. Maybe not at the speed you want, but it will happen, I promise. Tracking, tracking, tracking. And that's it for video number 2. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to go check out the intro video to this series that I will have linked down below for you. And if you are loving this, don't forget to hit the little subscribe button so you see everything else that I bring to this series and to my channel. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Be well, happy tracking, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!